So our next presenter is Kevin Brewer, who's the president and CEO at CMC Metals.
Thanks today. I want to talk a little bit. It's great to have this silver conference in the middle of summer. Gives us all an opportunity to update on our exploration so far this summer. I know shareholders are eager to hear it. We're generating our own success, and my title today is "Our neighbors are also having success, and so are we." So we're going to make a few forward-looking statements. Next slide, thank you, Gracie. And so we're going to proceed. Next slide, please. With our activities. We started off the summer in Newfoundland, and it's great to hear news from Matt about activities in the Great Northern Peninsula. We're more down in the central Newfoundland area. We're very close to the gold plays. So we're going to talk a little bit about gold today in a silver conference, and so I'll update you there. And then we're doing a 5,000-meter drill program in Yukon at the flagship Silverheart property. And we've started some work on the neighboring property, which we've had for a couple of years, and it was time to get active on that property, the Blue Heaven. And finally, I want to talk about some of our assets down in British Columbia, where we've just announced some news out on Silverknife, and Silverknife is right next door to Kerr's Silvertip mine claims. Next slide, please. So here's Bridal Veil in central Newfoundland. It's located within 15 kilometers east of Newfound Gold's Queensway project, which has started off that entire gold exploration rush in Newfoundland. Very exciting play. We completed a ground mag survey early in the spring, and from that we identified that there was a large and significant strike, contact between intrusives and metasediments. And along that, we're finding these northeast structures that everybody is finding in this belt, from Newfound's Play west and Newfound's Play east. And when you do soils along that, you get anomalous silver, arsenic, copper, lead, and of course the prime target is anomalous gold in those soils. So we've identified some of those trends. Next slide, please. And talking about our neighbors, our neighbor to the north and west between us and the famous Grander River ultramafic belt line, which is the focus of attention of the Newfound Gold, is Sean Ryan's belt. And Sean Ryan's in there with a company called Gander Gold, and they've done a lot more work than we've done. So we're looking to their success to build our success. And they're finding that there's an entirely new gold trend east of the Gander play, and that Gander North is showing that it has the potential for new high-grade gold discoveries on the island. And we're seeing those same trends that they're seeing. We're seeing major northeast structures. We've got next slide, please. We've got these beautiful breccias that these look just like what Newfound Gold have been drilling and showing in some presentations. We're not seeing visible gold within them yet, but these are very significant. They're showing that there's good hydrothermal activity in the area. They're quite prominent on the Bridal Veil property. We see a lot of alteration through over 4 or 5 kilometers at this point. We're very early stage into this, but what we're seeing in this system is a lot of encouragement that we're dealing with quite a significant system. Next slide, please. So what do we want to do there? Well, we've done soil grids over 3 golden till anomalies. That was early stage. We announced out the results of those. They were positive. We expanded those grids. We've got the samples in the lab now. So whenever we hear the results from that, probably be a couple months. As you know, labs still are are taking a long time to get samples through. We hope to then conduct a pilot-induced polarization survey over that contact to see if it could be a geophysical technique that we could use to localize the mineralization. And we want to really understand these breccias and these northeast trending structures a bit more. So we're hoping to get in there and do some more detailed mapping and prospecting in fall after we're finished in Yukon. Next slide. So everybody wants to hear mostly about what we're doing in the Rancheria Silver District. We got two plays, Silver Knife and Silver Heart Blue Heaven. But we do have 5 projects altogether, Rancheria South and Amy. I'm not really going to talk about those today, but let us talk about the new news at Silver Knife, and we'll go from there. Next slide. So the exploration model, we're looking for carbonate replacement deposits. They're hosted in carbonate rocks in limestone skarns. They're typically associated with a pluton, with an intrusion. They form at high temperatures, and they typically form in clusters. And then next slide, please. And so what we're seeing is that we're close to the Silvertip mine, but we're in an area where there are some major northeast fault structures that are pathways for these mineralizations. In fact, on our Silver Knife property, which is outlined in the blue neighboring the purple lines of the Silvertip mine claims, you can see that northeast fault structure going right there. We've got conductors right in under that, a series of conductors. We feel that this is a genetic link to the Silvertip, and we've also been investigating recently those northern conductors in our property as well. But the of significance to us is, let's talk about our neighbors for a second. There's been a recent development in Kerr. There's a lady called Oif McGrath. She's the new senior vice president of exploration at Kerr, and she's come out and stated that the resources at Silvertip, as far as she's concerned, are now considered to be a likely smaller part of the mineralizing system. In other words, it's an acknowledgement by a mid-tier producer that they've been examining the region as well. They expect that these are going to be highly prospective areas. Between Kerr and CMC, we pretty much got the entire belt wrapped up. So it's very, very encouraging that they're recognizing the district potential in this area. Next slide, please. So here we are at Silver Knife, and we're in the first slide to the left. This came out of our airborne survey. You can see that in the south central portion of the property, we've got a conductor basically running from one side of the property to the other. The little black lines are the drill holes of the Silver Knife prospect, which was on the edge of the conductor but never really got into it. And then you see a tongue of the northern conductor, which we've just examined by gravity survey. And then we turn around and we look the other way, and again, this is a slice looking westwards. So turn the whole picture around. You see these very significant conductors. You can see that the Silver Knife prospect just drilled on the margins of it, and so it's quite a package of potential here. Next slide, please. So what we did was we've been sort of using the same exploration techniques. Kerr and us, we shared the airborne survey. They've been doing gravity surveys to pinpoint their drill targets. We just managed to do a gravity survey on the northern part of the Silver Knife property. So that circular area was the area we wanted to target with a gravity survey. You can only do it in areas where you don't have too much elevation difference, and so that enabled us to do that in this area. Next slide, please. And as you can see, the result of this is the gravity anomaly. It's right over the conductor. This is very exciting. It's two new discoveries at Silverknife that are yet to be drill explored. We want to get in there certainly and drill these in 2023, and there's a lot of additional confidence that comes by adding a gravity anomaly on a conductive anomaly, because the gravity identifies density. So your galena and your sphalerite, your lead and zinc minerals, they will be dense minerals, and so it's identifying that within this conductor there is some great degree of density in this body of material, and it gives you a lot greater confidence that when you go into there, you're not just drilling a conductor that could be explained in our ways. You're drilling a conductor that should bear you fruit in terms of base metals, and along with those base metals, we would expect silver to be accompanying them. Next slide. So what's the future for Silverknife? Well, this season we're hoping to get in there in the next week or so and complete geological mapping and prospecting of the southern portion. We've got geochem anomalies which we don't have explained yet. We know that the McDame limestone that hosts the Silvertip deposit exists in that area, so we want to have a look at the geology. Over the winter, we want to obtain the exploration permit, establish partnership with the First Nations and local communities. We're initiating that process as we speak. And then when we get in there next season, we got to construct a new camp, we got to build drill roads, and then we want to initiate the drilling of those targets. So that's where we are with this. Now, everybody wants me, next slide, everybody wants me to talk about Silver Heart. And unfortunately, I haven't made much comments about Silver Heart in public, so I am limited on what I can say today. But we have implemented the new focus of pursuing larger tonnage carbonate replacement deposits. Next slide, please. We have been focusing, we've done a lot of trenching, and from those trenches, we are identifying on surface mantle style mineralization. That's very encouraging. And then we're following that up with drill. We're in the carbonate belt that extends from Silver Heart over to Blue Heaven. So we're looking at over 4 kilometers of area, but we're trying to focus initially vectoring in on what we see at Silver Heart, and in particular exactly where we see these mantles. Next slide. And you can see from this slide, here's our excavator drilling a drill pad, but you can see the manto in the bottom left-hand corner of the picture. This is near the K zone, but you're seeing these manto style mineralization in a number of areas along that 4-kilometer trend. So we're drilling these off as we speak, and we're intersecting manto style mineralization. And we hope that when we send these to the labs that we'll produce some nice results for our shareholders. So that's the limit of what I can say at this point. We were targeting initially 5,000 meters. It was a tough year to start in Yukon. There was lots of snow, lots of water. We got in there a few weeks late. So we're probably going to come in somewhere around the 4,000 to 4,300 meters in total. We've been expanding the geochem program. We've done a lot of geological mapping and interpretation, a lot of structural work being done by our chief geologist, Brahito Campillo, who's got a lot of experience in northern Mexico in these systems and is really a blessing to us in working in this. So, and we are also playing around with our technologies like XRF and using magnetometer and trying to see if those are effective tools for the future in helping us in our understanding of these systems. Next slide, please.
Just under a minute, Kevin.
Thank you very much. So we're just going to try to do a short field trip into Amy. We haven't. We're very excited about it. We've had SRK do a lot of compilation work on this property. We've got a large conductor to see in the field. So we're going to look at those, and we're going to try to get some sampling done. We're only going in there for a couple of days, so it's a reconnaissance effort. But again, it'll give us a better idea for where we should go next year and what we should do on this property. Last slide. So I want to thank everybody. Here's my contact information. I really thank Red Cloud for pulling this off in the middle of summer, and look forward to talking to everybody later in the fall.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Kevin.